Okay, so something happened. It's a little bit overblown. But people are complaining about the way that the Nintendo Switch is doing business. And apparently, as you can see here, Nintendo gets away with a lot of negative consumer practices. And one of them is to ban people for playing secondhand Switch 1 games. Now, the interesting question is like, why? Why are they able to get away with this? And I think the main reason, like, if we're being honest, is the fact that they actually focused on making video games. Like, for the last 5 years, Nintendo has built a reputation that if you buy their console, you're at least going to play exclusive games. And they also innovate in the idea that, okay, it's a handheld device, which you can travel around and you can play on. And when you're at home, you can plug it in and then you can have it on the television. Meanwhile, their competitors, what are they doing? Like Sony and Xbox. The only thing they're innovating is their terms of service. How to spy on you more, how to harvest more of your data. None of their games are exclusive, save for Bloodborne. And so if that's the competition, yeah, I guess like Nintendo can, at least for 2 or 3 years, fuck with the market as much as they want. Because people will allow it. People will allow it because at the end of the day, if you want to play Mario or if you want to play something like Zelda, you gotta get the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, sure, it's bad right now. You know, it's a fresh console. I'm pretty sure they'll fix it. I don't buy one. I'm not interested. I'll never buy one just so that people understand. But I'm trying to explain why they can pull this shit. If this was 2012, they would never have been able to pull this shit. Like, no one would have tolerated it. But because they're doing it now, in this context, in this culture, their competition is so bad to the point where community managers and representatives from Xbox and Sony have been on record going online, insulting their customers, insulting the players. Like, if you don't align with their leftist ideology, they will attack you, pushing their ideological nonsense with body type A, body type B into the gaming industry, forcing game developers to kind of like hint, hint, wink, wink, you need to get these consultants so that your games get approved on our platforms. So, like, when you're fostering this negativity and you're building this brand for yourself, then your competitor, which simply did nothing, well, can now just put for this nonsense and people will still buy it. Because that's the reality of it, you know? Like, companies do as much as they can in order to get away with shit. And so you end up in a situation where, yeah, like Switch 2 owner got banned for playing secondhand Switch 1 games. Serves him right for buying a Switch. But at the same time, I kind of understand the company's take on this. It's like, what are they going to do? Buy a PlayStation? And by the way, you know, I do think like this article itself is a little bit exaggerated because what it doesn't mention is that, well, it was a misunderstanding apparently. Once they contacted customer support, they had to show a couple of Facebook photos and they had to prove that they actually own the game. And then the console was unblocked, right? So from my understanding is the way this console works, if you try to mod it, in some cases I haven't actually followed through to see if the rumors are correct, but even if you try to scan the console, it gets bricked, right? And so you'll never be able to connect it to your account again. What I assume this means is that you can't even connect it to the store, right? So like you can't buy new games. It's kind of useless. Not 100% useless, but pretty close. And so obviously people are upset if they ever get banned. But this is what the gamer community wanted, right? Like people stopped liking brick and mortar stores because it's too difficult to move your ass all the way to the mall and actually buy a game that's a physical copy. And it even looks good in your room, right? Like people who have an actual collection of video games, in my opinion, it looks pretty cool. But people didn't want that anymore. They wanted the comfort, commodity, download shit online. And so this is the future that gamers themselves invited in. Like no one from the government forced this situation where everything has to be online only and you need to beg the company not to ban your account. And so, apparently, according to people on Reddit, they were able to unban themselves after speaking to Nintendo. But what people need to understand, if you did the mistake in buying this console, if you insert an older game into it, especially if it's a secondhand game, and you need to patch it, the moment you do that, then you risk getting your account suspended. And if that happens, you can call customer support, and they will unblock you. So second-hand games are commonplace, and while traditional piracy is relatively rare on Nintendo consoles, fake cartridges are still easily found on eBay and other online sources. While the mod cart that Nintendo has already banned is the sort of thing used to download pirated games, the long-standing problem is that Nintendo games are rarely discounted by Nintendo or retailers, and so second-hand games are vital for many fans in order to be able to afford to play the games that they want. And if you do happen to get your console banned, in order to unban it, like there's a UK support page and a US support page, you click it there and... Right. Again, most people have a dread to the part where you can actually get your console unbanned. So, you know, the console is freshly released. Obviously, it's going to have problems. In my opinion, it's not acceptable, which is why I encourage people to never buy a console shortly after release. At least wait 1 or 2 years. There's not enough games to play anyway. But, you know, if you're literally that desperate that you bought the console on release, you're going to be part of the experiment. You're literally beta testing for the rest of the world. So, if it does happen to you, it's a mistake, right? Like, the company doesn't actually want to ban your game, and if it happens, you can actually call them. Still, people are agitated on the internet for some reason. Like, I understand certain content creators got into a pickle for telling their subscribers, I think Mutahar, some ordinary gamers, aren't they the ones? Like, they told people not to buy a Switch too, and then they bought themselves one. Not a good look. DSP was the funniest. DSP said that he bought one, but he didn't make his money back, right? And I think like he played Mario Kart, didn't enjoy it that much. So he bought the thing, he bought the Switch, and then realized that he didn't make enough money for it to warrant the purchase. Again, the very fact that people still buy consoles mind blows me, but at least in the case of Switch, I kind of understand, right? Because like with the Switch, you can do something that you can't do with the computer. You're on a holiday, you're on a plane, you know, and you don't want to have a laptop. You're on a bus. And so you have a handheld device and you play some games. I kind of understand the idea. At least there's some novelty compared to Sony and Xbox. Anyway, right. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you on my live stream. Take care.